What is up, guys? Duazo Designs here with a new video editing tutorial, and today I want to be going over the differences between color grading and color correcting. Now here I have a footage from my last project, this wedding video. I think I'm going to be putting it after this video in a few days or so, and I'm just going to be going over pretty much, like I said, the difference between color grading and color correcting. So in layman's terms, color correcting is making pretty much the video flat in a way. So let me go into the color panel in Premiere here, and let's look at these Luma tree scopes. Now, there's different ways of color correcting. I like to quantify my way. So like you see here, I have these little graphs to show if it's warm or cool. And pretty much the graphs I use are these, the waveform, which is this graph here, the parade, which is the RGB parade, which is this, and then the vector scope, which is this. Now, I'm going to go over these graphs in a little bit in a different tutorial, a color correcting tutorial, a more advanced color correcting tutorial, but for now, I'm just going to go over the differences. So, like I said, color correcting is making the image flat and neutral. So, to quickly go over this, let's go over the Luma scopes. So, what this is here is pretty much a graph of the lightness and darkness of this frame here. So you see there's 0 is completely dark and 100 is completely light. Now you don't want anything dark and anything light because it'll lose the detail. So as you know, each pixel is comprised of an RGB channel, red, green, blue. Now when a pixel reaches 100 or 0, it loses all that data, red, green, and blue, and it's pure black and pure white, which means you can't adjust it anymore, which means it's overexposed or underexposed, which you want to try and avoid. And color correcting pretty much is bringing all these values and kind of giving it a middle ground. I like to say between 80 and 20. And that way, when you're color grading, it gives your adjustment layer, or whatever you're using to color grade, it gives that layer the most data possible to make it light or dark. So for example, if you left it how it is, if you wanted to make the scene lighter, these portions over here would be too overexposed. However, when you color correct it down, it will give you more space to kind of color correct. And that's the same thing with the RGB parade and vector scopes. Like I said, I'll go over that in a bit. So to give you an idea of what a color corrected footage looks like, right here I have the raw footage of this lamp here. And I use the Luma tree color. You could use a third-party plugin, but I like the Luma tree in Premiere. I used to grade in After Effects and use Magic Bullet then, but like I said, I just prefer Premiere. But this is pretty much the finished color-corrected image. Now, the difference between color correcting and color grading is color grading gives you the tone. Yeah, it gives you like the tone and like the mood for the image. So let me just quickly show you. This is the color graded image here. How I wanted a nice dark and somber feel for the video, right? So let's look back at the Luma tree scopes here. You could see that you could see here that I kind of brought down the exposure. Let's see, 1 second. Yeah, okay, I brought down the exposure. I just trying to keep everything in the middle ground. 1 second, did I? Yeah, I did. Okay. And I also brought the temperature down a bit. So originally you see it's pretty warm, and here I changed it to more cool natural tone. So you can see here I'm changing the slider. If this is too cool, this is too warm. You want a nice middle ground of your footage. And you can tell that by your RGB parade, which will either be an ascending or descending kind of trend, or a more flat trend, right? And then, like I said, this is all just purely to give you the most data in color grading. Now, color grading, there's multiple ways to do it. Like I said, I'm doing another. There'll be in a whole playlist, a color correcting and color grading playlist. It'll give you basic ways to color grade and basic ways to color, and basic and advanced ways. There'll be, I think, 2 videos per, one basic and one advanced. And the advanced will be more a quantifying way. But like I said, it gives you the most data to pretty much, like I said here, to grade with. Now, see, if I didn't color correct the original image here, this would be overexposed and these might be underexposed. And since I color corrected them, it could just give me a kind of starting point. Now, something to mention, lookup tables. With lookup tables, what they were originally to do, so you can see the input LUT, it gives you a bunch of these cameras. These are like some high quality cameras, so I'm pretty sure if you're using these, you wouldn't be watching this video, but I'm going to go over it just in case. Lookup tables pretty much are starting point. So each camera takes in an image differently. It reads images differently. So what lookup tables were supposed to do initially was to take that image from certain cameras. So this would be an Alexic, this camera here, the Lexia. If you were filming with this camera, you would put on this lookup table and it would automatically color correct your video. Now, these probably won't work for most of your most cameras you'd be using, but what people start to use them now for is color grading, and that's just a whole mess on its own. I'll let you do that in a different video. But yeah, that's pretty much the difference between color correction and color grading. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more tutorials and quality videos, and I'll see you guys later.